box here, and he may have frozen. And this is where he's improved, right, Scott? Since day one, I think, the break shot.
Yeah, it seems to consistently get a
runner-up at the European Open, of course, with Mickey Krause making a splash ball for them to get into this final 10, and maybe they make a move.
Well, my guess for you would be Yap. That's my guess. But for me,
and that's DeWong. I really think he's starting to settle in. I think that the setting and maybe getting too worried about these races to 5 at first. You know, you realize it's a race to 5, what I've seen the last couple of days. Started off losing his first 3 and made up as much ground as anyone.
So this isn't like a cold first match for him. Jeremy just said they've been playing a lot of pool.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of a blind ball that you're going to, never easy. Speed.
The cue ball mainly, you let it go a little bit. All right, you got to slowly let this come up. Yeah, I was going to say, if you get a little, you might get on top. He's okay. And, of course, these aren't the toughest tables I think we've had on tour, but they're very demanding. Oh, watch out, cue ball. It needs a help here. But open, because he's got to play odd position on the 3, even with ball in hand. If the 4 was a hair more. All right, the 2's upstairs kind of by itself. That's always a good sign. Looks as in form and consistent.
Look out here. That cue ball bent on him, and you got to kind of... Yeah, that's not going to get it this time.
No, and... yeah, that camera view when he was looking made it apparent that going forward is pretty odd. It is doable, but I like the draw stroke.
Wow, he got into it well. I mean, I think he got into it a little...
Yesterday, I think what I've seen with him here, I'm not saying I didn't see it at times elsewhere, but I think the alternate break, I think the shorter races, I think you're playing some matches as a big favorite early. You know, you're trying to find maybe getting into that rhythm, a gear, you might call it, because he certainly can have that. All right, a fortunate miss here.
No, but that's actually a really good point. The alternate break, right? You're not going to get as much momentum as you would with a winter break format.
Yeah, and as a whole, we've seen, you know, somewhat of a grind feeling, I think, for most players, and that's going to rub off on a young Kledio or a young AJ Manis, and don't lose that flair.
Yeah, a little reprieve here for Kledio after a pretty severely overcut 6-ball.
Yeah, overcut that one to the pocket a little bit.
Not an extreme shot here. This type of shot will get you going. If he hits it nice and clean, give him a little confidence, just punch one rail out. Oh, he likes drawing up towards it. I feel like that's pretty dangerous, but he stayed nice and tight.
How much you can really move it. But again, like we talked about yesterday, what I see with him is he really has kind of all the different shots, not rather. So I think that's going to really do wonders moving forward for young Kledio Kaci.
Well, you said some.
You talked about it last night, that cue ball going middle, just because percentage-wise you're keeping it away from a pocket, that being the cue ball. All right, he's going to get him on the rail here. Key to cut off, easy side spin. You can stay. That would be one I would entertain, because this can get away with any miss hit. This is not like a cold-blooded hanger. Cue ball has too much speed. If you get too thin, has not enough speed, something like this could have happened. But he did place the cue.
Now, this is very makeable. Just got to clear the 6. It didn't really ever seem settled, and it was makeable with short side position double J.
Yeah, and he's in position. The 8, really?
2 rail of 4 towards the top left.
Or towards the side. Or top left, like that. Yeah, it just depends on how it's sat, right?
I think it stopped just in the nick of time.
No. That's what I mean. Like we talked about yesterday, just one of those guys that gets it, recognizes stuff like that. Even
The cut was just as good because you just didn't exactly know where the pink was going to finish there. I mean, that was okay.
This is the biggest shot, and maybe the most demanding shot he's had in rack number 3, or 4, rather. Chua's now set up for a 2-game lead at 3-1. Should get these.
Well, we've noticed if they're missing the object ball, it's definitely to the overcut side here. Maybe the equipment been cleaned up a little bit for today.
Yeah, we got some moisture in the air. Been raining ever since last night. A few of the players that commented that when the pockets aren't easy, that usually makes it a bit tougher overall. Talked about Yap earlier. I do expect him to get back. Kind of like, you know, you hardly ever try to say perfect pull, but very tidy with the cue.
Oh, no, that's really one of the better hits he's had after 5 games.
Yeah, and, you know, mathematically, I think it only makes sense, but scores here, these score lines, if you're losing 5-0, 5-1, that could come back to really hurt you trying to make that final cut.
Almost seems. All right, look out here. I think. But it kind of seems to be the case. We talked about another player earlier in the week, and maybe it was Sanjin that didn't want to probably end the night and come back the next day and start playing again. Maybe that's a little bit the case with Kaci. Very young. Was really feeling it. And just a little bit cold coming in. I expect him to get better throughout the afternoon.
All right, 2 rails above the pink here. No reason to flirt with that ball.
Yeah, I think he might have just got into the cue ball.
Yeah, good decision there. What he wants on the purple 5, it is easy, but you want to make things easy, get into the 6.
Yeah, really good control there. Really good look at how effortless and natural the young man can be.
Yeah, well, through the years, of course, he's not quite as big as older brother, but through the years, that sounds like a hair of an underdog. Usually wins most of those matches, even against a big name or someone that we know is a great player. I think you throw the miss up about 25% probably. Yeah, that's just the safest play. You really come 2 rails and go at it.
Yeah.
Stroke the ball with so much confidence. It sounds like it's just easy to do, but, well, it's a true blessing, I tell you. All right, he's got to ease this off the second cushion. This has got to slow down a little bit. I think it's going to be all right, but he needs an angle. Eyes, kicking, safeties. Just because all that power and natural ability, I think that gets overlooked. So, uh-oh.
Yeah, I always felt like this was a concern. That's why I did touch on. I think it's bankable to the left middle, but is there a way you could tuck? He can't get to it at all, really, huh?
I don't know. I think he may be banking it, maybe. Hard to tell.
Okay,
Confident.
I get why he banked it there, I guess.
100%. It wants to slide in, even on these tables. Otherwise, it wants to get away from the pocket. Good smart shot there, and by design, trying to go into the 7.
Forward. All right, he can't avoid the 8. It's got to be struck very clean. Oh, and it was.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get another look, but that's where the stroke opens up the pocket. Steep.
Yeah, does he go towards the green here?
Yeah, you got to bump it. All right, up. Looks pretty comfortable, though, to go 1-2 back and a soft third hit off the left cushion. Looks like he may not be able to put a lot of speed on this. The way he's acting, he may have to play just from underneath. Okay, could get some draw. Nice shot. A shot that's over. Here on the second stage. Both the